Ned was prepared to find the body heavy, and had planned in his mind all evening how he would set about lifting Babe out of the crate. In his mind he had imagined that he would put a hand under each of his arms, summon up all his strength, and heave, until Babe's body was draped face down over Ned's back in a kind of fireman's lift. What Ned had not foreseen was the enormous strain this would throw on his weak shoulders. As he strained at Babe's dead weight, he could feel the socket of the left shoulder grinding in the old familiar way. He had not put one of them out for at least 7 or 8 years, and while he knew perfectly well how to snap the socket back, tonight he could not allow anything to disable him. He decided to try letting his right shoulder take the weight instead. He drew in 9 or 10 sharp lungfuls of breath and pulled. Staggering from the table with Babe over his shoulder, Ned sank down to the floor, sweat pouring from him, and his right shoulder on fire with pain. Babe's head banged against the floor, and his body tumbled to the ground with a crack of bone as the neck snapped like a dry twig. Ned rose unsteadily to his feet and gently stretched out his arms. The right shoulder gave a small click, but held in its socket. Inhaling and exhaling deeply, Ned forced his breathing to slow to a calmer rhythm and waited for the trembling in his arms and legs to stop. Stretching and inhaling deeply once more, he switched off the lights, opened the door, and listened. Satisfied that no sound other than the thumping of his heart pierced the deep black silence of the night, he bent down and hooked a hand under each of Babe's arms. He pulled the body slowly along the corridor of the hospital wing and reached the alarm box. The radio around the corner was playing music. Ned recognized it to be Grieg's Death of Orsi, and instinctively looked down at Babe as if to share the joke. He dragged the body around the corner and laid it down, face up. Crouching at Babe's feet, he pushed him forward along the ground and past the door to the staff room. If Paul came out for another pee, he could not help but trip over the corpse, and all would be lost. Bent as low as possible without losing his purchase on the soles of Babe's feet, Ned pushed again. He was now directly below the window, and he pushed faster and faster, wishing that the radio had programmed something louder and more percussive. If it was to be funereal, why not Siegfried's Death, Verdi's Dies Irae, or the March to the Scaffold? The muted strings of Grieg whined on as Ned cleared the window, stood up, and resumed the more comfortable grip under Babe's arms that allowed him to drag the body backwards over the linoleum that led to his own wing. Back in his room, it took another shoulder-wrenching effort to heave Babe onto the bed. He did so without first pulling back the blankets, and had to rock the body backwards and forwards on its side before he could loosen the bedsheets and cover Babe up, cursing himself for his stupidity. He imagined Babe, too, tutting at such a lack of foresight and common sense. "Sorry," he whispered. "Mea culpa, mea maxima culpa." Ned arranged the head on the pillow, pulled up the blankets, and bent down to lay a final kiss on Babe's head. "Goodbye, my best and dearest friend. Whatever happens, you have saved my life."